Hey everybody, how you doing there? Just wondering what you were doing. Vince should be back next week. We got a little surprise for you too. It's going to be pretty neat. I think you're really going to like it. We're going to go over a few things here that I think you're going to like too. This is kind of picking secrets. Just little things that sometimes we don't think about too much. In other words, it's just something that goes right over the top of our head, or we don't think about it, or maybe we do. But either way, you can add it or subtract it for what you've got and put it together with your ball of wax, because what you do collectively, everything you take in, you're going to put it together for yourself. You're going to develop your own style. Your own attitude, your own MO, so to speak. And that's what makes pickers so neat, is they all have a different style. And it's from everything that they've collected from around them and their experiences. And that's what makes us so smart. Ha-ha. Anyway, like, when you're buying and selling storage units, there's a lot of things that we don't think of a lot of the times. And one of the things you got to do is what you see in the unit. When you see it in the unit before you bid on it, don't talk to people and tell them what's in there. Sometimes we say, oh, did you see that moped in the back there? It's pretty neat. Well, that cost you $100 or $200 or $300. So when you see it, don't tell anybody else. Just keep it to yourself, because they have the opportunity to see it also. And God, did I make that mistake a lot of times when I was young. And when two people are arguing, like you'll see a lot of people argue at those sales. I've had it happen to me. And then what happens is you get into it, and pretty soon you have to pick sides, or they assume you pick sides, and you lose two people. And that can cause you a lot of money too over a period of time. So what I learned to do, and both people can be right too, by the way. And each picker is going to give his version. We're all like that. We try to give our version to make us look a little better. It's really hard to say, hey, I'm wrong, even when we are. Although it's something we try to practice all the time. But anyway, I stay out all that stuff. Okay, then, when you're not talking about other pickers, they can't say nothing about you. And they can't say that you try to judge somebody, So I kind of keep quiet in that direction. Be friendly and all that, but I would never get personal. And I'm sure you know that. Hey, and what about when you buy that storage unit, you go inside and you pick up a suitcase, and inside that suitcase is full of silver and or gold or something that's unbelievable. Maybe a suitcase full of guns. God only knows what it might be. But whatever it is, you bought it, and it belongs to you. I would never tell anybody but my wife or somebody real close to me, maybe people working with me. And under the right conditions, depending on what it is, I don't think I'd even tell them. As a matter of fact, I didn't for years. I kept it to myself. Some things are left best unsaid. And when I bought units, I had 4 or 5 guys that were with me every time, and I would go through every one of those units. And then they would load it onto the truck. But I always got a peek at it. I'd kind of high grade it right there. And if I found something, or sometimes it was something I didn't want nobody to see, I'd just set the whole box aside, or I'd say, throw that on my truck. That worked out real well for me, because if people think you're getting lucky, or you find a big score, the next time they'll think you're lucky, and they'll bid on every unit that you bid on. It just runs the price up for you. You don't want to do that. You know what I mean? And I know you don't want to do that. But as you develop your own style, all of that, I'm sure, if you haven't developed it yet, you'll be adding on it for the rest of our lives. Even now, I'm pretty old. I'm retired. And I still watch these guys and learn from some of the young guys that are in there. It's really amazing. It seems like it's a never-ending lesson. And I think that that's one of the things that we like about it. You know what I mean? At least that's how I see it. Another thing is, if you look on a box and you see that box has been taped 2 or 3 times, the odds are that that's been gone through 2 or 3 times. And I don't like that, and then when you see them thrown back in there, I always pay a little bit less for them, because it's really important. You want to do everything you can to save money. And what I used to do, if I didn't know the auctioneer or the people there, I'd always talk to the other people. I'd talk to the auctioneers, I'd talk to the people and find out about the auctioneer. Very little to the auctioneer until I got to find out who he was and who his people were, because he's always got his people with him. Those people are the people that go to his auction, his auction on a regular basis once a week. And like it or not, he's going to tend to want to favor them. Like maybe you're bidding on something, and he's got you at $100, and he grinds on it forever, like he's never going to sell it. And finally, he drops it on you. That's giving his friends a chance to get in. Or if he's got somebody tight with him, what he'll do is he'll say hit $100 and he'll drop it maybe in seconds to that person. That's how you can tell who his people are. That's important that you know that when you go to those sales. Of course, then again, it's just something to put in your little tool chest. I've noticed that, you know what I mean? Anyway, I hope you do good out there. Ben should be back this week. He's taking care of business. And I'm going to leave you with one last thought. Let's pretend that you're the auctioneer. And pretend the manager calls you out. You cut the lock. You go through the unit. I did this many times with a good friend of mine in California. I'm not going to mention no names. We'd go through the storage unit and we'd look through stuff. And maybe there was something really, really good. Let's say that you open a suitcase. And there's a coin collection in there full of, let's say, Carson City silver dollars. All graded in nice shape. A whole suitcase. You can barely pick the suitcase up. Now, so you leave. You go home. You know, you put the other lock back on it. You run the ads. You get ready to do the sale. And it comes time for the sale. What are the odds that an auctioneer or the manager is going to have somebody out there that he knows that's going to buy that? They're going to have them bid on it. And remember now, they're the only ones that know that's in there. Maybe the auctioneer, maybe the manager, maybe both. Now, my question to you is this. Now, will he have somebody bid on it? Or will he not? You think about that.